Thanks, Chairman. Mine is a question for Ms. Thomas and Chief Spagnolo. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms runs a National Tracing Center, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and the National Tracing Center is only allowed to trace crime guns and crime cartridges. It's not any kind of National Firearms Registry, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, that's correct. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So when it started back in I guess 1988, it was getting the first year it got 48 requests for tests, and now it's up to 490,000. So it's a busy place. It has 800 million records in its database, and if you leave a fingerprint at a crime scene, Chief, as you know, your officers can take that fingerprint and they can take it to NCIS and they can run a computerized search and they can get a hit to find out what other crime scene might have had a similar fingerprint. How quickly?
Fairly quickly. We can do it with today's technology rather quickly, yes.
Yeah, like minutes, hours, and days is basically the measure, correct?
Correct.
So your officer shows up at the same crime scene, and right next to the fingerprint, they find a spent cartridge, which carries the mark of the crime gun that fired the cartridge. Compare for me how quickly your officers can get access to the ballistics information related to that crime gun's cartridge, and how quickly they can get access to the fingerprint information.
Senator, we here in Waterbury rely heavily on firearms forensics. We collect those cartridges in a manner that provides us to have them forensically examined. And when we retrieve weapons and guns from off the street, they are test fired here at our police headquarters, and then that cartridge is actually brought up to the state lab to be entered into the NIBIN system. I am fortunate enough to have a forensic firearms expert that works for me. So in my situation, I can have that gun test fired and have that cartridge available to be entered into the NIBIN system rather quickly. However, once it gets to the state lab.
Exactly. Here's the problem. Once you get there and you have to try to match that against the database, ATF is not allowed to use modern digital technology. They still have to do a hand search, in theory, through 800 million, a database of 800 million that's kept on paper. Is that helpful to you in trying to solve crimes quickly? And when you've got a cartridge and presumably a shooter who still hasn't been apprehended yet, how much is time of the essence in trying to figure out what other crimes that cartridge might link the shooter to?
Well, time is very critical, and as we know, criminals don't have boundaries. So, we do work locally, but that doesn't help us with other urban areas in our state and outside of our state. And NIBIN reports can take anywhere from 3 weeks to several months is what we normally experience here in Waterbury.
Ms. Thomas, does that make any sense at all?
It certainly isn't a system designed to reduce the use of guns in crimes and to empower law enforcement as best we can to reduce acts of violence. So it's not a system that's designed to support law enforcement. It's a system that's put in place to make it far more difficult for them to do their jobs effectively.
Why would a cartridge fired by a criminal at a crime scene be entitled to more protection than that individual's fingerprint left at a crime scene?
Well, it certainly shouldn't. This is evidence that we could use to investigate this crime and bring the person responsible to account for.
Yeah, and if you could actually get this information timely, you might even be able to head off another violent crime because you'd know more quickly who was on the loose with a weapon that had just been used in a crime if you could tie it to the evidence from another crime where you had some good information.
Senator, in an urban area, there may be a 24-hour period where we may experience several shootings that we believe are connected, and through witnesses and through other forensics and surveillance, we can kind of determine they're connected. But to have that ballistic information available to us in a timely fashion would be extremely beneficial. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, my time is up, but just for the record, this problem exists because our Republican friends pushed through a requirement that the ATF not use modern computer technology to search for firearms. It makes no sense, and I hope we can fix it. Thank you.